In the U.S., the White House has brokered an agreement on artificial intelligence with some of the top tech companies. Speaking a short time ago, Joe Biden called it a move that will ensure the companies uphold their fundamental obligations to society.
Must be clear-eyed and vigilant about the threats emerging from emerging technologies that can pose, don't have to, but can pose to our democracy and our values. Americans are seeing how advanced artificial intelligence and the pace of innovation have the power to disrupt jobs and industries. These commitments are a promising step, but we have a lot more work to do together.
Joining me now with more on this is journalist Benji Heyer in Washington. Benji, what else did you hear the president say?
Hannah, in the past hour, President Biden hailing what he calls the enormous opportunities that AI can bring, but also warning of the incredible risks that it could pose too. He welcomes this move by 7 AI companies based in the US to sign up to these measures voluntarily. A number of these firms, household names, the likes of Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, agreeing to these safeguards. And what they've essentially said is that immediately they will test security of their AI products, allow independent experts to do that, share some of the product information with governments. Secondly, ensure that consumers are able to identify AI-generated images to avoid the risks of people looking online and being fooled by deep fakes and other sort of pictures. And thirdly, President Biden's urging them to deploy advanced tools to tackle society's biggest challenges, curing cancer, combating climate change. The bottom line is that we're expected to see more technological changes in the next few years than we've seen in the last 50, claims Joe Biden, and that will transform lives. These real and concrete measures, as he calls them, will be critical to shepherding that innovation with responsibility.
Benji, some experts we've talked to say this is a good start. Where do things go from here?
Look, it's a great question because actually the US has fallen slightly behind a few other countries when it comes to this form of regulation. And, the likes of the countries in the European Union and the bloc itself have introduced legislation of late. Italy blocking ChatGPT and even Canada introducing the Artificial Intelligence and Data Act in past months. President Biden has signed some executive orders, but the White House wants more, and it's urging legislation from Congress too, bipartisan legislation. Joe Biden, in that address that you heard, spoke of working with allies and partners around the world to work on a common international framework. And why is this so important, you might ask? Well, the White House in a statement points to the track record of AI showing the insidiousness, the prevalence of the danger it can pose. Sentiments shared not just by the administration, but by some of the founders of AI, including Sam Altman of OpenAI, who speaks of the risks and the threats that it can pose. He argues it could bring risks of extinction to humanity on par with nuclear weapons and pandemics.
Wow. Journalist Benji Heyer in Washington, thank you for your report.